HG has grown a lot in these 6 years. Where do you see HG in like 10 years?
Faith is just in every part of my life. I have to think that way. I have to allow God to direct and guide, because I've learned when I don't, it doesn't go well for me. Okay, God, what do you want next? We started thinking and praying, okay, Lord, we really want to dedicate this to you. What do you want for Heritage Group? And we started praying and thinking about that. We were writing things down, and we came up with something called the HG Big Five. It's humility, concierge, investment, integrity, and gratitude. I'm not saying we're perfect, but that is our heart.
But you're dead gum near it.
Oh, thanks. I'm not.
Welcome back. I'm Molly with the Heritage Group, and I have Erica Bankston, one of the amazing owners, with me today. Thank you for being here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, Molly.
So we want to talk about your journey in real estate and how you got started and all of the hats that you wear.
Oh, let's do it. I'm ready.
So you're the brains behind marketing and all of the compliments that everybody always gets for everything. So will you tell us a little bit about your background and how you saw the vision for HG?
Well, that's very sweet. Yes, I will. As far as the marketing, I would say how I got started in marketing, my sister and I owned a fitness company. And so I got thrown into marketing just from needing that. And there's not just a whole lot of content creators. There are now. Used to, I guess this has been over 12 years ago, there wasn't. And so I really learned all the ins and outs, all the things you can think of. Canva, when it first started, any program that you can think of, Lightroom, just all the little things that you start with, I learned on my own and just trying to get the word out that we had this fitness program. And so I learned what worked, what didn't work, and we had so much fun with that. But I just kind of self-taught with the marketing side. And so Justine and I, when we first started talking about Heritage Group, and of course we've talked about our story, but when we first started talking, Justine and I were friends, family too, and she actually asked me, she said, hey, I want to grow my socials. Can you talk to me a little bit about marketing, and can we maybe team up on some stuff and all that good stuff? And so it started with a conversation about marketing, actually, Justine and I, and then I was wanting to sell some homes that we were building, my family and I, and so we talked about real estate. So when we started that conversation, it was really both things, and then it evolved into, hey, I think you could bring the marketing side, I think you could bring the real estate side, and it ended up where we are today with Heritage Group. And like you said, I don't know if it's hard for me to take that compliment. It's really, really sweet. But I definitely can't take all the credit. But that is where I have fun, is the marketing side. So, but that's how we started.
It's a lot of fun. Do you remember MySpace?
Oh, I so remember. Maybe that's where
where it started?
Do you remember how? Because yes, that is absolutely all the social media. It started with MySpace, and then we had Facebook. Is that
with dial-up and everything?
Yes, with dial-up. Mm-hmm. And what I loved about MySpace, and I actually think we should bring that back.
Your top friends.
I loved the top friends, as long as I had like a certain amount,
Oh, yeah.
Because my sister was always the first. That was my excuse, family first. Mm-hmm. What about you? Did you have your sister as number one?
I don't think I was even friends with my sister. There's an age difference there too.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Gabby and I are only 20 months apart. But you could have your own song, and I think mine
in background.
You're gonna laugh at this. I literally think I had Hinder, Lips of an Angel.
I love that song.
Do you love that song?
Yes.
I loved Hinder, and I thought it was so I discovered Hinder. I definitely discovered.
You
did not,
for sure.
But yes, I loved all that, and I think just creating for me, even when people didn't, because for a while it was kind of cringe. I'm using a young word. I feel pretty awesome about that. It was kind of cringe to be on social media a lot at a certain age. I had kids, and when I really got into it with Instagram and just having several different businesses, I had to be on there anyway. But for me, marketing and social media has always been a creative outlet. in a way that I can show. It's almost like art to me. And so I've always seen it like that. When I was building Heritage and like the brand behind Heritage, it really was an art form to me. And I loved the thought of everything being very cohesive, and just when you see, I always talk about Heritage Group, I want it to feel local, but I want it to look very commercial. I want it to look like a national brand. And so that's always been my goal.
I think you've accomplished that too.
Thank you.
And I do think there's so many great brokerages around here too that are really doing a great job on their socials as well and everything. So I don't want to take away from what other people are doing too.
True.
But I know, because I'm new to the area, and I keep saying that every podcast. I've been here for over a year now.
Yep, you're kind of one of us now.
Yes.
Yep.
But when I talk to people that do not live in this area, they're always complimenting all of your socials, all of the things. So I just think it's important for you to know that.
Thank you so much.
And when you talk about art, when I first used Instagram, it was because they had the different filters on the...
Yes.
Yes.
We really went down the filter rabbit hole for a while. And I look back on, I guess, when was it when we really started doing that? It's been several years ago. But the trend has kind of come full circle, because it really, people didn't do that anymore. It became more of the natural lighting got popular.
Yes.
And then my daughters, who are 14 and 15, they were showing me some pictures yesterday, and they were editing with the cool filters again. And I was like, oh, it's coming full circle.
Yes.
It's coming back around. Yeah.
Well, when you could do all the little portrait things around it and stuff. And when I look back, way back on my Instagram, that's the only reason why I even first started using Instagram versus Facebook, because Facebook didn't have those options and stuff. But anyway, so real estate wise, I know a lot of people always probably ask, so are you a realtor? Are you selling real estate? All of the things. Like, can you give us a little bit of background on real estate? I know you touched on it for just a second whenever you said you had talked to not Erica, Justine about starting the HG and everything.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm not a real estate agent. And that is confusing, I think, to some people who see Justina and I together, and they're just wondering what my role is with Heritage Group. We are co-owners, and fun fact, I did take real estate classes way back in the day because my dad was a builder. So he started out in residential building, and that's what I grew up around my whole life. And then now he's in commercial construction, but I very early, my earliest memories were cleaning up job sites, helping my mom with wallpaper in the new homes. And so I was in that industry as long as I can remember. I've been in the industry, the construction side, the new home side. And so I met a lot of the real estate agents. I was around a lot of the builders. I'll never forget when I took classes, I thought I would go to work. I wonder if he remembers this too, but Blake Rogers, he's in Van Buren now and still owns a brokerage. Awesome guy. When I was real young, I talked to him and said, "What if get my license? Can I come work with you?" And so I started down that path, and then I met Cody. And, tall cowboys can really sweep you right off your feet. And so he did. And we ended up going a different direction together, and started a family pretty early on after about a year of being married. And I went a different direction. And then whenever I met Justina and started talking about this, I considered it. I thought, well, maybe I need to go back and get my license. And what I learned pretty quickly is what I could bring to the table for Heritage Group was I could get my license and we could have an additional broker there, or I could bring the marketing background that I have. And what I love about that is I feel like it really gives our agents confidence and a direction in-house. They're not having to pay for some of the services that are expensive. I do the headshots. I do, we sit down and talk about branding and all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's where I started thinking about real estate and why I took the direction that I did. And I get people all the time asking me, are you going to ever get your license? And the answer for me right now is probably not, because it would take away from what I do at Heritage Group right now. So
yeah. And I will say, from being at other brokerages and then coming here, you really, both of you, Justina and yourself, but right now we're talking about you. You really pour into that marketing side where generally agents, realtors, brokers, whoever are having to outsource that too. So it's kind of, not only is it convenient, but it's not an everyday situation where you run into that with brokerages. Yeah. So it's definitely a perk having you do that. And then now I know that you're doing a lot of other things with marketing. Do we want to touch on any of that as far as websites and different things?
Yeah, we definitely can. Our goal at Heritage Group is always, Justine and I always want to invest back into the company. And so we've been going, I guess we're on our 6th year. And our goal has always been to expand, but even more so than location, we want to make sure and be able to give our agents more, always looking for more, and not allowing our company to just flatline, but to constantly be looking for the traction and making sure our agents can also scale their business. And so, something you're talking about is one of the things we've recently implemented is all of our agents will have their own website under the umbrella of Heritage Group. And so that's been really awesome. I don't even know that all of our agents know that yet.
I don't think so.
But
that's why I was like, this is awesome.
There you go. It's going to be super, super awesome rollout for this next year. And another awesome thing that we've been fortunate to do is to find creatives and professionals outside of myself, because one thing I know as a business owner, but also just as someone who has been around some really great leaders, is a great leader always brings, and I'm not calling myself that, but you want to surround yourself with people who can do things better than you can. And so, yes, a lot of the things that you see on our social media, that is me, but then also the really good stuff, those are other people that do it better than me. So like Joe, who's actually in this room right now.
I know. Our secret.
And he's pretty awesome.
Yes.
But creatives and Ben, one of our other really awesome partners, but we have some really great creatives that do things for us. And so I can't take all the credit. And I love doing that. And you as well, Molly, you are a great leader that I have around me that influences me, and someone who has a great drive. And, one thing that people don't always think about with this industry is each real estate agent, you have your own business. You're a contractor, you're a subcontractor. So you have your own business. It's pretty cool to be surrounded by people who have that same drive, that same desire for excellence in their business. And so, yeah, I can't take all the credit, for sure.
Would you say that part of real estate kind of energizes you, or are there other aspects of it that energize you more?
Are you talking about which part, marketing, or are you talking about having people around me that...
Both, like all of it.
Yeah. I think what energizes me the most, as far as just looking forward to coming to work every day, number one, creating something new every single day. I just always love... There's nothing, no transactions the same. And you know that as a broker now. And also, no house is the same when it comes to marketing. So I constantly get to look at a property with that creative eye and think, how do I sell this property? How do I help the agents come up with a story? Because really, marketing is just telling a story, right? And so even we went yesterday to an open house, and what was really cool is they had a little cottage in the backyard that
I saw that.
I thought of so many different cool things.
Yes.
I was like, man, this could be if you had a mother-in-law suite type situation, if you had parents that you were taking care of, or if you had older children, or you wanted a Airbnb situation. So many cool things, but really showcasing that cottage in the backyard. And so just thinking of ways to do that for our clients that really showcase more. We're going past just the listing photos and those kind of things. We're going and we're revisiting the property, and we're able to share with the public why it's so special. And so that's what energizes me, is being able to tell those stories and come along and do something new, every day.
So much
fun.
And I know people always say, oh, dang, Erica, another TikTok or whatever.
They see me coming.
But I don't think people also realize what you're doing behind that.
Right.
Yes, we are doing that, but I feel like it's the camaraderie that you're also creating at HG as a team, too.
Thank you.
Do you feel like that?
Definitely, because as you know, and we've talked about this, I was not in this industry as an agent, and I'm still not an agent, but when we go to open houses or realtor open houses, we've talked about this. Sometimes it's a little intimidating walking into a group of people who you don't work with, and maybe you could look at them as competitors in the industry. But the way that we approach real estate and the people that we work with, we don't approach it that way. We approach it as, there's plenty to go around. We can definitely collaborate. We can get to know people who don't choose to come to HG. It's so much fun. And if you approach the industry that way, it is way more enjoyable. And I remember the very first time I walked into a realtor open house, and you had little groups. You had this group here, and I remember thinking, I'm going to make these people love me.
That's not Erica at all.
And of course, everybody's so kind once you get to know all the different groups. We have great brokerages around here. But if they see us doing some video and stuff like that, that is kind of new. Having this girl that's not a real estate agent walking in with a camera, what is she doing, And what's cool is seeing the way that people see that now versus the way they saw it back then. I think it's gotten more positive because I think people understand, oh, she's just helping, share this property, or, oh, she's just helping her agents make sure that they market themselves. And so, yeah, I don't feel any negativity whatsoever. It is different, but I think people get it now.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Well, and I think, too, like you mentioned, this area, the River Valley area, there's plenty to go around for all the brokerages, all the agents. And yes, from time to time, things can seem,
Sweet. Thank you, Jeff.
Things can seem like there's a lot of competition. But at the end of the day, I think it's easier when people look at it like, hey, we're both just trying to get to the closing table. The situation is you may have a house for sale and I may have a buyer, or vice versa.
That's right.
And all we want to do is get to the closing table and do what's best for both of our clients. So we can have a great relationship even if you're at a different brokerage. And
100%.
I love the heart behind HG. So that's kind of where I'm leading into. The values and the passion and just what HG stands for. And I just want you to share that with my audience. I know you've shared it a lot with y'all's as well, because HG has their own podcast as well. So I just want to talk about the heart behind HG.
Well, thank you for that opportunity. I'm so excited always when someone asks me about this. I guess it was year 2, Justina and I had laid the foundation of this is how we want contracts written, and Justina's the brains behind that. This is how we're going to do our marketing. And we really prayed for guidance as far as how are we going to structure the company. I think we started, it was Brandon, Miss Yolanda, and Ashley, right? And us. And Jordan, she was office manager at the time. And to give some context, now we're almost to, I think we're 40-ish agents.
48.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're there. And so we started thinking and praying, okay, Lord, we really want to dedicate this to you, and we want to get out of the way and see, what do you want for Heritage Group? And we started praying and thinking about that. We were writing things down, and we came up with something called the HG Big Five. And it's on our website. There's a little bit more of an explanation to it, but it's humility, concierge, investment, and I'm going to forget a couple. Humility, concierge, investment, integrity, and gratitude. Yeah. And we have explanations for each one and why we chose those values, but we wanted to make sure that in everything that we did, that we kept a very solid foundation, but we also, all of our leadership was, I call it rowing the same direction, right? And so there's going to be transactions that you might lose money. That's happened before, where you get to the table and you have a client that says, this isn't going to work out. I've got this, we've had this several times where, I've got this amount of money that I need. And Heritage Group, our heart is always for the client first. And so I've watched my parents do that over the years. There's been times my dad has taken a loss, and he probably wouldn't tell you that, but I've seen it and witnessed it. And so when money is not the only goal and people are first, I feel like that is that's the heart behind Heritage Group. And it also trickles into everything else, like our agents and the relationship that we have with our leadership. And we give out awards every single year. That's been our heart is, instead of just volume, we're going to celebrate people who have exemplified those values. And it's really cool. And it's peer voted. So we get to do that together. And yeah, it's been really, really awesome to see whenever you put your values out there as a company. What I love about that is it gives people a choice. They know who you are from the beginning, and they can decide, do my values line up with that company? And so that's what we've seen is we've seen some pretty incredible agents at Heritage Group who see that and they're like, that's who I want to be. That's who I am as an agent. That's who I am as a broker. So that is our heart. And I'm not saying we're perfect with that in all ways, but that is our heart.
But you're dead-gum near it.
Oh, thanks. I'm not. I'm not.
Well, like you were saying, HG has grown a lot in these 6 years. And now that you're, I'm going to say 48, but I may be off by 1 or 2 there. Yeah. But where do you see HG in like 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, where's that? What does that look like?
I'm a big vision person. So I'm always thinking like this. Where do I see myself in X amount of years? And what's tricky about that is the older that I get, I pray for wisdom. I'm like, I do this all the time on my way to work. I'm like, Lord, help me, be with me today, give me wisdom, right? Because I see HG in 10 years. I see us expanding. I see us in different locations. I see us growing our main offices that we have. Right now, we are in Fort Smith, Van Buren, and Northwest Arkansas. I see us expanding into some other places in Arkansas, Oklahoma. We've played with other locations before, for sure. But one thing I've learned is I've learned to hold my business like this. And that's just the visual that I think in visuals sometimes, like not as much, I'm not as much of a word person as I am a picture person, if that makes sense. And so I just think of holding the company like this because if that's not the direction, I'm okay with that. And I'm an oldest daughter. I talk about this sometimes. I'm very controlling. I'm an oldest. I'm going to make things happen a lot of the times. And I've just learned wisdom is to say, God, you know the future. So whatever you want for me, I know that's going to be best. But if it was up to me and I was able to just see a picture, I would definitely see some expansion. I would see more leadership, more brokers, more locations. And I see it. I see that happening already for sure. Yeah.
I'm excited about
I'm excited. Yeah,
too,
for sure.
And I think it's great that you're able to want to be in control of everything, but at the same time realize that you're not the one in control.
You're never the moment that you think that you are. But that's the difference. If you do, and you know this about me, I've learned to, not everybody does this, but faith is just in every part of my life. And so I have to think that way. I have to allow God to direct and guide because I've learned when I don't, it doesn't go well for me. And so for me personally, and Justina as well, we really do lean on our faith on, okay, God, what do you want next? Because if you would have told me 6 years ago we would be here, I would be so excited, first of all. But I didn't really fully, I knew it would get bigger, but there's a verse that talks about exceedingly more than what you asked for and expected. And I've experienced that with Heritage Group for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the support that the community has had towards HG has just been fabulous in my eyes. And I've not even been here that long to witness every amount of that.
Yes.
Throughout the board whenever it comes to HG.
Definitely.
So you've talked about what HG looks like.
Yes.
Possibly in the next 10 years. So how about personally and professionally? What does success look like to you?
Yeah. Success looks like getting to wear Uggs to a podcast. I don't know if anyone knows that, but me and Molly have our slippers on here. And, for me, success is to be able to choose my family more. I love that. I'm getting to the place where I'm getting to have more people around me and you talk about this, Erica, delegate some stuff to me. I can handle it. Is there anything I can take off your plate? Is there, and we do that to each other around the office, and that's so awesome. But I think success looks like getting to choose. And I think you and I both have talked about luxury is time. It really is. And be able to spend time with my babies and invite them into work. Sometimes I've been letting Ellie spend some time at work on Mondays. But I love what I do. And so I definitely don't see success as being absent from Heritage Group, but I do see success as just being content, getting to work with people that I love. I mean, I just have so much joy when I come to the office because you guys are there. And, Joe and I were at an open house and we just got to be professional hype people, and it was so much fun. And so I don't see how success could look much different than that. You're
everybody's hype woman.
It's so
too.
fun.
And I think people need to know that.
Thank you.
Too. And I know
It's
you
easy.
mentioned like doing a podcast in Uggs and everything, because I know a lot of the pictures and the videos and all the things, it looks so pretty and all put together and everything, but I want people to know who we are at heart.
It's true. It's true. And if they saw us, and many do, and how many times have we heard when agents come to Heritage Group that are new, they go, man, we thought you guys were this way. We thought you were all the time this way. And we're like, if you only knew us, we love a good, a Heritage Group outfit is what we call it. Merch.
Oh, that's
merch.
what my 9-year-old
That's what we call it.
I need some of that merch.
We need some of that merch.
Yes.
But yeah, we love it. We love being casual. We love the real, I guess. We are not the sum of our 9 pictures on Instagram, for sure. We're definitely not.
We have many different versions.
Yes.
But I will say this too. Can you kind of explain to the audience, and hopefully we have more than one viewer,
2 people.
Please tune in.
You will.
But what balance looks like in such a demanding industry?
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a question. Asking that question, have you looked that up before at some point in your life?
Yes.
I have too. I think I
ChatGPT
don't know if it's a mom thing, because I remember having babies, and I think even after my first baby, and I'll be 39 this year, but I have 3 babies.
You were already 39.
I'll be 39 in November.
Oh, because we talked about this. You got a little mixed up on your age.
I never know how old I am. Not ever.
So I am older
I hope
than
I'm not
you
the
are.
only people.
Yeah.
Are you a little older?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
You fooled me this whole time thinking we were the same
I never
age.
know how old I am.
Okay, sorry.
I'm terrible with it. I always ask my friends. I text them how old I am. How old am I? But no, I balance. I once saw this and I thought, this is so true. It doesn't really exist. And I subscribe to that mentality. Balance never really exists. And balance to me, like I said, I think in pictures, right? And so when I think of balance, I think of scales. And every week is so different. I mean, some days the balance is work and family, families here or work, or maybe it's the opposite. But it always changes in my life. For me, it changes. And I think people who own a business can understand that. There's just so much, there's not a turn off point. It's not an 8 to 5. It's not a 9 to 5. It's just not. But in saying that, you have to be sure to put boundaries in place. And for me, those boundaries don't look like walls between me and other people. I think sometimes we think boundaries are between you and someone else. For me, that's a mental boundary. I will think about real estate when I'm laying in bed at night for hours and hours. I will dream real estate. I will dream marketing. And so I've had to learn to really shut it off at a certain point. But balance, I feel like we all chase that balance, and you just have to realize that there are going to be seasons that you need to choose your family and long for. It always needs to be them first. But I don't think that balance is real. That's my personal opinion.
I do agree. It's something people continue to try to chase. And success looks different in everyone's eyes, too, in whatever industry they're working in.
Yep.
And real estate is ever-changing.
It's ever-changing.
Like riding a wave.
It is. And that's a good point because, what I love about real estate, I talked about this with one of the other agents, there's going to be seasons where you slow down in real estate, and we've talked about ride that wave. Go spend time with your family. Take the vacations. Use it as time to recharge. Don't forget about your business. But that is a perk to real estate. Is if it slows down, you can really invest in your family and just enjoy that time. And I've learned to do that as well. And balance to me, I wish I would have understood this at a younger age. God just gave me this personality that I don't even want to call it drive, because it feels like we almost idolize a drive or a ambition. And we kind of, I think some people who stay home with their kids, because I did that in a season, they see that as something that they want to get to. It's just, I want to be able to have that season of my life where I can really find myself again and get to be in the workforce again. And I've been in all different seasons like that. But I think if you can see it like that of, okay, the Lord may have me in this season for a time, but then I might be in this other season next year or the year after. Enjoy it.
And riding that wave, you mentioned being able to recharge or spend that time with your family, which is crucial. But at the same time, school's back in session.
Yes.
And if kids are back in school or preschool or, whatever that may be, that's a time where real estate agents, brokers, et cetera, can kind of pour into their marketing too.
Definitely. And take that. Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things I talk about with our agents is what to do when you don't have a listing, or what to do when you're in between listings. Market yourself. And that's why it's so important when you do have listings to really take the time to market those listings, because later on it's really building your portfolio. That's what I love that you do. I love that you do this, that you take time. And I think some people, they say, and I don't know this, but I've experienced this. I've actually experienced this at my church. People have come up to me in public before, and they question me and they say, we just don't understand why you're on social media. What are you doing? What is your end goal? And they truly don't understand. And what I'd say to that is, video helps people get to know you when you've never met them, and that you are bringing eyes to your property for your client. It truly is a serious marketing strategy, right? So, and I love this analogy, but if you have 3,000 views on a video, there's no difference than having 3,000 people in a room looking at that in a magazine or on the TV. It's the same thing. It's cheaper. It's much easier to reach a broad audience. And so I think people do question that. And sometimes it's hard for them to buy into that strategy. But I mean, just look at what you've been able to accomplish being new to this area by doing a consistent marketing strategy. I mean, you have just really, people see you all the time. I know you from somewhere. And you're like, oh, what's probably my social media? I mean, I get that a lot. And that's awesome.
I think people don't realize the power of social media.
I agree. Yes.
And the amount of platforms that are available now.
Yes.
And yes, some people still choose to use the newspaper or the magazines to put their listings in, which is perfectly fine. You know, I have picked them up multiple times. Like even as a kid, when we would take trips across the country and we would stop somewhere, I would grab those magazines.
Absolutely.
To look at the real estate and act like I was going to buy a house somewhere in a random state, you know. But social media has really changed the game when it comes to marketing.
It has.
Don't you agree?
I totally agree. And I still am for all the different, I love the magazines. I love billboards. But yes, I think social media is the easiest and the most accessible. And what I say is people live there anymore. They live on social media. And so if you're not promoting yourself on social media, you're really missing out.
You are.
Yeah.
Then what do we have? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. There's other small things too.
Yep.
I haven't really gone into Threads or
Me either. I'm not really.
I don't even.
Probably need to get better at it.
I don't even know. Well, I'm getting off track. But what would you say you are most proud of and the most successful moment for you while building HG?
Oh, that's a thought-provoking question. I don't know that I have a single moment, but there are many moments. One of the moments, I guess, would be moving into our new office because it was pretty cool. It was just a visual when we got everybody over there and the community came out to see the building. And, you know, I did that with my dad, Justine and I. You're busy doing all the things behind the scenes. And that was a real moment for me where I look around and all these amazing people who had helped me get to where we were at, helped us get to where we were at, were standing around. And it was just, I was very emotional and thank you, Lord. This is such a moment of gratitude. And I would say every single time that I see the agents, every single time that I get the opportunity to just be one-on-one with one of the agents or brokers, or just, it's a moment almost every day, honestly. There's a moment where I'm just full of gratitude. And never once do I feel like that I would take it for granted, because it truly is. It's all of you that's made HG what it is. So I would say just anytime I see the faces that have helped me get there, that's a moment for me for sure.
The building is amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, it's limestone, correct?
It is.
And I know some people come in there or drive by or have seen it and feel like it's pretty intimidating. The door itself is massive and it's heavy.
Yeah.
But the people inside are so welcoming and loving and caring and collaborative and want the best for each other too.
Yep.
So it's definitely an at-home feeling.
Thank you. That's what I want it to feel like for sure.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it is. So you mentioned the agents making HG what it is.
Yeah.
When I say y'all, I mean you and Justina are interviewing agents, or agents come to you and say, hey, this is a path I may want to go into, or I'm already in real estate and I'm looking for a brokerage. What are y'all looking at?
That's a great
agents?
question.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're looking at people who have the same values. Those people, and it's pretty obvious early on. I will tell you, there's been very few people that came to HG thinking they want to be at HG that we've said, I don't think it's a fit. And I'll tell you, it would be easier probably to say what is not a fit at Heritage Group, because we have amazing people who come and interview. I mean, very, very few people that I feel like wouldn't be a fit. But I think for us, our sales approach at Heritage Group is more relational. It's definitely not car salesman or, hey, I'm really going to dread seeing that agent coming at church or at a ball game because they're going to try to sell me something, So I think number one, you really do attract who you are. And so we just really don't have a lot of people who come to Heritage Group that we aren't excited about. But there's been a couple people where, not that their values weren't there, just we didn't feel like it was a fit. And that was the thing, is that it felt more salesy than Heritage Group. And as you know, with our trainings, we really try to focus on building lasting relationship and having those repeat clients versus cold calling, those kind of strategies.
We value relationships.
We value relationships
and
for
you're
sure.
not pushy.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to be that. Not that it doesn't work. Not that there isn't a place for cold calling. Not that there isn't a place for that kind of strategy. It's just not who we are at Heritage Group. So definitely looking for the integrity that someone brings to the table, because obviously if our name is behind it, we want to make sure that the integrity is there and those values are there. So that's what we're looking for.
So if someone is looking at real estate as a career, or they're already in real estate as a career, and they're kind of on the fence or have been considering the Heritage Group, aka HG, that we've been referring to this whole time, what would you suggest to them, and how would you suggest them go about that?
Oh, I love that question, because, I love recruiting. And Justine has told me, don't go poach from other brokerages. So I'm trying to calm down, not do that, okay? But my ultimate goal is to have all of our friends working at the same place. And I know that that's a lot. But for the most part, our recruiting is new agents, right? And so I'm having coffee with a new agent or someone who's looking into real estate this week. And that's exciting. But what I would say to them is, look at all the brokerages for sure. And you hear that in real estate. They say, go interview at different brokerages. And I agree with that, actually. I think that everyone is going to find a place that they feel at home. And selfishly, I want that to be Heritage Group every single time, But I would say really take some time and think about what your goals are going into that industry. How do you want your career to look? And then you'll find the spot for sure. At Heritage Group, the ways I think that we're different is I think that our in-house marketing does really set us apart. And we have a lot of resources that, as you said earlier, it's not really normal. And it's not just me. We have a lot of different resources at Heritage Group to help kickstart a career. And I think sometimes when you talk to real estate agents that are new in the business or looking to be in the industry, one thing I hear over and over is I was kind of thrown to the wolves.
I was going to say your onboarding is a lot different too.
Onboarding is great. We just really have a lot of one-on-one help. And I think that's because we're still a little bit smaller. So that helps each agent not feel like a number, right? And then I do think that we have some really incredible, we have some really incredible brokers. So one thing that can be hard getting started in real estate is there's constant changes. So we had some recent changes in the last couple of years. Having a broker that fully understands and can explain that to the agents and get a strategy for them and make sure that even when they're a new agent, they're backed by a really competent and experienced broker. That's really important. I think we have that at HG.
Yes, we do.
And I think that it really helps each agent feel confident going into their first transaction, their second transaction. Every transaction's different. So you need that support,
Well, I know you've said about new agents.
Yeah.
Because, again, the marketing, the onboarding, the support. But what if there's an agent out there somewhere, let's just say, that's an experienced, seasoned, that's
a little seasoned agent.
And they're thinking, I really wish I had that marketing. Or that looks like a really fun group.
I would tell any seasoned agent, number one, I love, Molly, that you've kind of exposed Heritage Group a little bit when it comes to who we are. Because I think there's many times that people think, I wouldn't fit at Heritage Group. The building it looks a little intimidating, or those girls, they put on makeup every single day and they dress up every single day, and it's just not who we are. And I think that I would say to those experienced agents, we can definitely take your business to the next level. I think I really know that we can. And if there's any question behind it, come talk to us, because there's time after we talk to people, they just say, hey, this is what I was looking for. I wasn't sure, but oh my gosh, this is what I was looking for. So I would just say you're welcome. We would love to have you. We've got 3 offices and we would be open to more. So would love to see some growth. Come on over. Come on over, yeah.
Well, I think too, like we had discussed talking about, oh, they always have makeup. No, that's not true.
It's not true.
False. Now, I mean, I think there's a time and a place, you know, for listing appointments or buying appointments or whatnot, you know.
Being professional.
Yes. 100%. But we really talked about being in our pajamas on this podcast.
Yeah, we talked about it just because we really wanted to break down some
barriers.
Yeah. And some preconceived ideas.
Yes. Well, I've had fun doing this.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
Okay, so now we're going to play a little game.
Oh, we are.
We're going to do rapid fire.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Born ready.
Born ready. Are you coffee or tea?
You know this, probably.
No, I do now.
You know what's weird? What's matcha? What's matcha?
Is it not a tea?
It's tea, so I guess I'm now, as of 2 weeks, I've been on the matcha.
I think what happened is Joe stopped making his amazing coffee.
That might have been what it is. He's not spoiling us.
No. The heck?
Yeah.
Morning person or night owl?
Night.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's where you would get a lot of your work done, because you'll text and I'll be like, how is she still awake?
You'll get emails from me. Oh, for those seasoned agents, just to give you some perspective, I work all the time, and I know that's what's hard when you asked about balance earlier. My thought is if the kids and Cody are asleep, it's free time for me, right? And so if I'm making graphics and things like that, you're probably going to get it within a couple hours most of the time, what you need. But yeah, night person for sure.
You know, you didn't really touch on that. I know we talked about marketing and stuff, but I don't think people realize that you're the one doing all of the graphics for the flyers and all the things.
All the things. I make graphics. I make open house flyers. I do all of that. And I want our agents to feel pretty spoiled at HG. So, and I hope that's how they feel. I hope that's how y'all feel.
We do.
Yes. But yes, I do all that.
Okay. What is your go-to song when you need to pick me up? Is it Hinder?
Oh my gosh. No, I would say my oh my goodness. So I'm one of those people that listens to all genres of music. So it depends. I'm either pick me up in the mornings, it's going to be something worship. It's going to be worship music because it just gets my mind right and it gets me set in the right direction for the day. But as the days go on.
You know my saying. Remember what it is?
What was it?
I don't even know if I want to. I will. I'll say it. I can go from holy.
Yes.
To hood.
Yes.
Real fast.
Real fastest.
Like, they're 100%. One station away from each other. And it just depends on the mood.
Yeah. You want to hear something really cute about my mom?
Yes.
So I grew up singing Southern gospel music, which is a whole different level. But my sweet mom, she's only ever listened to Christian music. And my brother's in country. So that was,
I didn't know
she'll listen to Shay. So for sure, Shay, anything he sends me or Gabby sends me, that's going to be my pick-me-up for sure, besides Christian music. But a cute thing that my mom does, if she gets in my car and it's on anything but like worship music, she changes it. I'll get back in and it'll be worship music. Isn't that cute?
Funny.
And Mom's been like that forever.
I love that.
I am 39 years old, and if my car is not on worship music and she's about to get in, I'll change it.
Well, it's the respect level that you have for her.
So, yes.
I don't think, because I'm not from this area and I'm not from any part of the River Valley area. Yep. So when I was doing my interview with you and with Justine, we didn't talk about your background at all.
Yeah.
And then you and I were having a conversation one day about the community and meeting people and all the things. And I'm not even really sure how we got to the question on, do you mind if I even?
No.
Okay. About Dan and Shay.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't know who they are. Thinking we were still talking about the community. Yes. And you're like, no, Shay. And anyway,
yes. Yep.
Do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have two, not that you do not have your own success. 40 under 40 over here, elected
word.
And
it's very sweet.
Made it here in Arkansas, Erica Bankston.
Oh, wow.
So super excited for you. So let's start there. Yeah. So very successful in your own right. And you've got two very musically inclined siblings.
I do.
And apparently you are too. Do you
will never know. You will never know. No.
Yes. So Gabby and Shay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's been a fun part of my life. And they're pretty special to me. As you know, I'm very close to my family. But yeah, they're amazing. I mean, we almost went to Branson as a trio. He could have had that. He could still.
It's not too far away. Like, come on. Silver Dollar City. Here you come.
City is calling us. Yeah.
Well, listen, this has been amazing. And Erica, I just want you to know how much I enjoy you and appreciate you and how much of a joy you've been in my life and a bright light you've been for me moving to a new area, transferring to a new brokerage. Mm-hmm. I adore you. I love you. And I love Justina. And I just...
We adore you too, Molly.
Listen, we're going to get so many other people that'll love and adore you.
So much fun. And I just appreciate you. And thank you for letting me come on to your podcast. I enjoy it so much. I'm avid fan, avid watcher, listener. I watch and listen.
Who talked me into doing a podcast in the first place?
It was me, and you're welcome.
Thank you. See y'all later.
Bye, guys.